how different did you have to call the game knowing Harry Trotter wasn't going to be there at running back?
Well, thankfully, our ability to pass pro and stuff, we did a pretty good job early. So I didn't feel quite as concerned as I maybe would have, because I really feel Harry understands what we're doing protection-wise and does a great job with that. And early in the game, obviously, it took a while to get things rolling at all. I think we only had 6 plays in the first quarter. So I don't know if I had even a good feel where and how it was going to go. They were doing a good job kind of keeping the ball. Thankfully, we got some turnovers and kept them from scoring each time. But not having Harry was a concern early. And then I felt like once we were kind of picking things up and weren't getting the quarterback hit a bunch, I felt pretty good that we'd be all right.
I guess it's you could look at it both ways. You had 150-plus receiving yards from running backs last week, but then the receptions from the receivers wasn't there. What will it take this week to get that group going a little bit more?
Well, I think we just got to keep taking what people give us, and we got to keep guys understanding that it doesn't matter how we move the ball. We just need to move the ball. When you get opportunity to make a big play, you got to make that big play. I felt like we made a number of plays this hadn't the week before, but we still left some out on the field. I mean, we had opportunity to make 2 or 3 more plays that could have made our lives a little easier. That's for sure.
And last one for me, did the way that second half went, did that show you that you guys have a little bit more quick strike capabilities than you previously knew about?
Well, I just felt like we made some plays and didn't get tackled one-on-one. Because again, I kind of go back to Arkansas State a little bit on that and say there was probably 5 post plays that if we complete 2 or 3 of them, you feel like, man, this team can move the ball in chunks by throwing it down the field. And unfortunately, we didn't make those plays.
Hey, Coach, good to see you. Can you discuss the progress the offensive line showed during that game and how much they came along from first quarter to fourth quarter?
Well, twofold. From the first quarter to the fourth quarter, our ability to start at least plugging away from the run game standpoint, giving ourselves a chance. The last touchdown, it was a nice run, but it was also blocked well. And the probably the bigger difference as far as more from one game to the next was our ability to take hits off the quarterback. We only gave up 1 sack, and to be honest with you, I felt like he probably got hit more in game 1 than he did. I'm talking when he still got the throw off than he did against OU, and that's going to be a huge deal for us, is not just progressing from a run game standpoint, but those 5 guys also got to pass pro and do a great job passing things off and giving us opportunity to throw it if we're not running the ball as well as we want to.
And as a play caller, when the offensive line starts to click, how much does that open up your possibilities of what you can dial up?
Well, it changes a bunch, just our ability to use play action pass. If you're running the ball and getting some 4, 5, 8, 12-yard run plays, and now we can start running some play action and be able to throw it off that. And I felt like our ability to run the ball did help us. Now you'd say, well, you didn't run it that well. No, we didn't, but it still allowed us to use some different protections that kept the quarterback clean.
Thank you.
John?
Yeah, Courtney, the fact that you guys have had so many more explosive plays this year, is it as simple as, hey, we've added Deuce Vaughn to the mix here, or why do you think you guys have been able to create more explosive plays?
No, I think Deuce is obviously something that's been great for us, and he's done a phenomenal job to this point. But I also think it's, Skylar delivering a ball where you can catch it and run with it. I think it's guys downfield making blocks. It's the whole offense understanding that, one guy has to make sure he doesn't get tackled one-on-one, but everybody else has got to play to the end. One of his long receptions, Deuce's, Briley Moore does a phenomenal job of blocking downfield and cleaning a guy up that probably tackles him if we don't put the extra effort in to block downfield and allow him then to go get 20 more yards. So all of us got to keep understanding that you never know when your extra effort's going to be the difference.
How much different does it feel as a play caller this year with having Briley Moore at tight end, Deuce Vaughn, obviously the guys that you have out wide? Just seems like you have a lot more options as far as guys to go to offensively.
Yeah, I don't know that I feel much different, honestly. I mean, I felt like last year we still had guys that made plays. Were we as consistent as we need to be? Well, we've not proven yet this year that we'll be consistent. We need to be, and we hope we can build on what we were able to do this past week. We need to build on it. So I think there's still a lot of room to get better, and our mindset needs to be that every day I can improve and need to improve.
Appreciate it.
Kels?
What kind has caught your eye about Texas Tech and their defense already?
Well, in the back end, they're gonna try to really knife you down and tackle and be physical. They're not a box you in and match you type of team. They're going to come in and try to tackle everything low. They try to use their team speed and play fast, and their interior three guys are bigger, thicker guys, but their back end guys all are long, rangy guys that can really run. And I'm not saying they have a mindset of let's figure out how to get off the field one way or the other, but their mindset is fly around fast and make things happen fast. And I'm sure that from a program standpoint, they want the ball back in their offense's hands so they can get 90 to 100 snaps in if they can. And we've got to do a good job forcing their defense to stay out on the field and play 8, 9, 10 play drives and make them defend us and not just be where we're sitting on the sideline and their offense is doing things.
Got time for these last two hands. We'll start with Arnie. You're muted.
Got it. I know Chris talked about the running back by committee and so on, but also with the offensive line with COVID. Do you feel like you have to work more people in than you normally would, even if it's not dictated by the current situation, just
100%.
because of the possibility?
Yeah, 100%. I feel that, and the biggest examples I would use is the our game last week, and when you watch Texas Tech game last week, I felt like we were as fresh and ready to go as you could be in the fourth quarter, even though it was in the fourth quarter. And I felt like that when you watch the game, we were in better shape. We were, and it wasn't because each individual is probably in better shape, but we used as many people as we can. When you watch the Texas Tech game, by the fourth quarter and overtime, you could see they were two teams that were gassed. They were spent. And we want to make sure we've got as much left in the tank when we get to the fourth quarter as we can have.
Last one right here, Fitz.
Yeah, building off of that, Coach, how conscious are you of trying not to get sucked into the shootout mentality that Texas Tech tends to do to opponents? They certainly did it at Texas, and being conscious of possessing the ball and kind of taking the air out of the game.
Yeah, we obviously want big plays and we want to score. And if we score in a 1 or 2 or 3 play drive, I'm excited and happy about that. But we as a programming team offensively understand that the ability to stay on the field and have 8 and 10 and 12 play drives and start kind of grinding on people is a huge positive. And just as an example, only getting 6 plays in the first quarter was hard on our offense because you couldn't, somebody asked you, well, what'd you feel like you could run? I had 4 plays that were on a quote normal down and distance and 2 third down plays. And I couldn't have told you what we felt like we could run. And that's what we need to be able to do to a Texas Tech style of offense is keep them on the bench. And if we get a 3 and out as a defense, then we go back out and hold the ball for five minutes. That's a huge bonus for our program.
And following up on that offensive line, does the youth and inexperience of this line make those prolonged drives a little bit more challenging?
Obviously, their ability to communicate and work together is a huge part of our ability to move the chains. But if it's a wide receiver making a 10-yard gain to move the chains and picking up the O-line when maybe we don't do it as well as we need to, that's what we've got to do. And that's all 11 of us figuring out how to move the chains.